Welcome to Gutter Trash, episode 213, Hellblazer section. My name is Eric.
I'm known as Jason.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Around town.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Just by folks in the know?
Folks in the know, yeah.
Yeah.
My close circle.
Yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're both almost better.
Yeah.
We've lost the plague.
Well, between last episode and this episode, I got the plague. I don't know if it was from you or not, but
We'll assume not.
yeah, I would assume actually not.
So that just to avert any bad feelings.
Right. Well, I think the fact that you had it like an entire week before I even got it, I think that sort of rules you out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'd feel bad. Honestly, I would have because it was gross.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I did have a friend I hung out with just days before I got it. So I'm pretty sure that's who I got it from.
Ah.
So the blame entirely is going to her.
Well, good for her.
Yeah.
I mean, not for having caused that, but
No, yeah.
for receiving blame.
Yeah.
Blame is always nice.
Yes. She knows what she did.
She's probably proud.
Oh, yeah. Or at least guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully she's just repenting somewhere.
Does she repent?
Maybe. She was raised Catholic. Went
Okay.
to Catholic high school.
Okay.
I'm sure she still has that in her somewhere.
She doesn't, carry around the rosary or anything.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So yeah. Almost immediately after the last episode, I got incredibly sick.
Right.
Yeah. So
Fever?
I'm pretty sure I had a fever. I'm not 100%, but just because it seems to be the same type of thing that you had and what my friend had, that, I'm pretty sure there was a fever involved.
Right. Yeah, just gross. You feel gross. You sound gross. You do gross things.
Yeah.
It's just terrible. I'm
Yeah.
glad it's over.
I'm getting over it. It's definitely at the end of this entire gross saga. Yeah. And I couldn't be happier. Even though I did miss 3 days of work.
That's nice, though.
Yeah.
But it seems like such a waste. Because, I missed a few days of work, and all I did was sit there and watch terrible TV.
As did I.
And it's just man, I really could have accomplished something by not being at work, but
Right, yeah.
what a waste.
I did learn that apparently soap operas still exist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I was honestly unaware.
Really?
Yeah. Like I know my mom will watch soaps, but she always watched the ABC, network soaps.
Okay.
Which is usually, I think it was General Hospital and One Life to Live and all that.
Right.
And honestly, I thought they had canceled all of them. So I was very surprised to discover that some of them still are on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw the beginnings of some, and I was like, whoa, no. I don't want to watch. I mean, I don't mind terrible TV, but that is awful TV.
Right. I would say what's even more awful is every variation of the talk show The View that is on. I think there's about 4 of them.
Right.
There's the View, of course, The Talk, and the worst one, because it has a disgusting name, The Chew.
The Chew.
Yeah.
Huh.
It is a more of a food-based version of it.
Okay.
But it's still that same type of show. And even if it is a food-based one, like entirely, it's still a terrible name.
Right. Why don't they at least call it, Chewing the Fat?
Right.
Maybe that's a little bit better.
And I mean, I know there's a comic called Chew,
Yeah.
which I enjoy greatly.
Which might become a TV show.
Might be, yeah. It's still a gross name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because in your mind, like pictures, like some open mouths and
Yep.
some gross sounds.
Yeah. The worst examples of what chewing is.
Right. Yeah. So is that going to be a problem for the Image comic if it becomes a show?
I don't know. There's the Chew and Chew, so...
Okay, yeah.
I would also assume that two vastly different audiences.
Right,
Yeah.
I would think so.
It would air at different networks at different times.
Right.
Yeah.
That could be alright, then.
Yeah. I've also discovered that apparently people in the audience of the television show Rachel Ray, she's like a TV chef.
Okay, yeah.
And she has a cooking show / talk show. The people in the audience are fucking idiots. They will clap for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that happens, though. You get... It's like that crowd mentality. You get in the middle of a crowd, one person claps, and everybody claps.
Right. But it's like, she's just cooking.
Yeah.
We can all cook. And also, I've never seen her cook anything appetizing.
I've never seen Rachel Ray.
She's cute to look at. She's got that kind of annoying, peppy personality thing going on. But she like today, like I was just flipping through channels, and she was cooking her family's holiday pasta or something like that.
Like their family recipe.
Yeah, and it was like this. It was pasta, like the big round tube noodles.
Oh, okay.
Which perfectly fine with that.
Tampon noodles, they're called.
Sure,
I believe.
Yeah. And she put Parmesan into it, and in garlic, and in oil, and then she had the sauce, which was made out of shredded ribs.
Oh,
with like vegetables and stuff, and it wasn't like a traditional Italian pasta sauce.
that's strange.
And I was like, that doesn't look appetizing at all.
Right.
That just looks kind of gross.
There's like carrots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. Like I'm sure it was like a tomato-based sauce, but, it's like that type of stuff looks more like a stew. And
Right,
I
yeah.
don't think stew goes with pasta that well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess it could.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems strange.
But she was making this thing, and she poured out the noodles into the serving dish, and everybody just started clapping. I was like, why are you clapping? Why are you clapping?
Did she not spill anything? Maybe all these people are prone to spillage.
Could be.
No, I do a lot of spilling in the kitchen.
I do too.
Yeah.
But they did like in the middle of the applause break for the noodles being poured out. They did sort of cut to the audience, and then there was a woman who just sort of seemed to be looking around, wondering what I was wondering.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. She's like, wait, what's going on here? Maybe there's probably an applause sign,
Oh, I'm sure.
And then that lady just wasn't watching the sign. And
Right. But still, you shouldn't applaud for
everything.
finishing noodles. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Angry at nothing.
That's us.
Yep.
Or at least you.
Mostly me.
I'm mostly indifferent to nothing.
Yeah. So unfortunately that's been our entire lives for 2 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Bad television.
Bad
daytime television.
Yeah, I think I talked about mine already.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That was fun.
So let's talk about this comic book thing.
Yeah?
Because
I like comic books.
I like comic books too. And I'm a little worried to see where this is going to go.
Oh.
Because we've never done anything like this before.
No.
And it's a little new and weird.
Yeah.
Because you are reading 4 issues out of what is essentially a 40-issue run.
Right.
Like a 40-issue story arc that I had the privilege of reading the previous 20, and I'm currently reading the follow-up to this.
Right.
So I know where the story had been, and I know where it's going.
So it all is kind of like one big train ride, right?
It is, yeah.
Right.
But this is it was just a 4-part, story arc within that. And, I mean, I will say it does start clean. Like, while you would need to have read the previous issues to know who all the characters are.
Right.
To, figure out their relationships and everything like that. Like the actual plot of this, starts pretty cleanly.
Yeah.
And then it's the last page of the 4th issue says the end, but it clearly isn't.
Right.
And the following issues directly tie into what happens in this.
Yeah, it's more like a chapter of a larger story.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I felt like I was following it all right. It's talking about Sectioned.
Yeah.
The Hellblazer story.
Yes.
267 to 270.
I believe so. Yeah. Right. 4 issues.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I've only read maybe like a dozen or so, maybe 20 at the most, issues of Hellblazer before I read this. So yeah, I clearly don't have the whole story.
Right.
But yeah, no, I felt like I understood.
Okay. Right.
For the most part. Like you said, there's characters like the taxi driver, I forget his name. Chaz, and then Epiphany, is that her name?
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with either of those characters.
Okay, well, Chaz is a character who has been in Hellblazer since day one.
Okay.
He is Constantine, if you want. I don't like saying Constantine. I know that's the proper pronunciation.
Is it really?
Yeah. So I'm going to stick with Constantine, because I'm an American, goddammit. Yeah, Chaz is John Constantine's best friend. Who?
So I don't remember Chaz.
Yeah, he's basically he's his best friend, but at the same time, he's also a guy that Constantine just sort of uses.
Okay.
There,
right.
Whenever it's convenient.
Right.
Yeah, and occasionally abuses. Yeah, he was played in the movie by Shia LaBeouf.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. See, I don't even remember that. I didn't know that guy was in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen that movie.
Well, if you were to have seen the movie and then read the comics, I mean, I could easily see why you would have no clue why any of those characters are related. Even the title character.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't really look much like John Constantine.
No.
But we digress.
Yeah. I can go into that movie if we want. Yeah.
That's a dead end for all of us.
All right.
No one wants to think about that movie. No, yeah, I enjoyed it. I hadn't read Hellblazer at all in like 15 years.
Right.
And it was kind of cool to revisit the character.
That's cool.
Especially with the awesome guest star. That shows up like 2 issues in, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think he's hinted at in the 2nd issue, towards the end anyway. That's the one thing about reading monthly Vertigo comics is that the last 10 pages are always a preview for something.
All right.
So I'm like looking at it and wondering who all these characters are.
Like, I don't remember this part of the story.
Why is it colored and drawn so differently? And why is Neil Young, smirking at me on a cell phone? Yeah, he does show up in the end of the 2nd issue. So, yeah, I think at the end of the 1st issue is when we start getting hints that he shows up.
We're talking about, of course, we can spoil that, right?
I
think we mentioned it.
We mentioned it last time, yeah.
Mr. Shade the Changing Man.
Heck yeah!
Also, Milligan, well, he brought him back because he was like a Ditko character, right?
Right, yeah.
But he kind of reinvented him in the 90s.
Late 80s?
Late 80s?
Late 80s, early 90s. We should definitely point out that Peter Milligan is the writer of Hellblazer. I think he's been writing it since around issue 250, maybe before then. Actually, I think it was 250 or so. And he is closing out the book for good.
Really?
Yeah. Because Hellblazer was being canceled.
Yeah, I didn't know he was still on it. That's good.
Yeah. But yeah, so Peter Milligan has been writing Hellblazer for like the past 4 years or so. And so this is actually like just past a year of his time on the book. And so yeah, he brings back a Shade the Changing Man.
It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Shade is great. Shade, that was, I'd say Shade the Changing Man is probably my second favorite Vertigo book ever.
I don't know about that, but it's definitely in the top 5.
Yeah, it's great.
Especially like the first 50 issues are solidly like up there.
Oh yeah, it's so different.
Yeah,
so it has a completely different feel. Yeah,
yeah. Shade was a Ditko character, like a very, very different version from what you and I know best. You know,
I have never read any of those, but I picked up like 1 or 2 in quarter boxes over the years.
Right.
And it looks like an 80s cartoon, but with like 70s, like, I don't know, like style to it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was very strange looking, but in a completely different kind of strange than Milligan takes it.
Right. I remember because my old friend Bruce is who actually the guy who got me into Shade the Changing Man. Because Chris Pichello drew like the first 50 issues of that book or something like that.
Yeah.
And he is a huge Chris Pichello fan. And so like he just wanted me to like, discover Chris Pichello.
Right,
yeah. So like, I read the entire series and then like I wound up buying him the original Ditko series as a gift one year. And
he's like, what is this shit?
Differently. Yeah.
What is this shit?
I don't know that he even actually ever read it.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it is like, they only share a name.
Right.
You know, and maybe a very basic concept.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, like they're both from Meta.
Right.
But yeah.
The Vest and the Madness. Well, I don't even know if the Madness was a thing that was in the original.
I don't know. Probably not, honestly. Yeah, because Shade's all about madness, and like that's where his powers stem from. And,
right. Peter Milligan owned that character basically. I mean, it's a DC character, obviously, but because Brian John Mitchell posted a comment on the last episode about him possibly picking up this, a couple of issues of Hellblazer because he likes Shade as well,
right?
And he like brought up like if Shade had been retconned at all since like the end of that series. I don't think so. Because I think he's only shown up written by Peter Milligan since then.
Yeah, I've never noticed him appearing in anything else.
I have read. I think I read like an Elseworlds that had the original version of Shade in it, but like, that doesn't count, obviously.
Right.
But I think there's been like a handful of times where Milligan has written Shade, like post that series, and it's always Milligan, and when like the DC New 52 started, like Peter Milligan wrote Justice League Dark, and it was all about him like doing Shade again.
Oh wow, really?
And then when he left that book, like he took Shade with him, like Shade's no longer part of that book. So that is like obviously a character very near and dear to Milligan,
right? And DC's cool enough to be like, okay,
exactly.
Right. That's awesome. Can you imagine that if Marvel was like that? Like if Herb Trimp was like in the 70s, like, I'm just retiring the Hulk.
Right. Yeah. Herb Trimp.
He's awesome. So yeah, what's the story here with this Hellblazer miniseries? Or it's not a miniseries. It's a slice of a giant pie.
Basically it starts out with John Constantine going absolutely insane.
Bonkers, I would say.
Yeah.
He's bonkers.
Yeah. and he winds up in an insane asylum. And he tries to summon Shade the Changing Man to help get him out. And then just things go awry from there.
Yeah. He's having some problems. The world is literally falling apart around him.
Yeah.
Like chunks of whatever building he's in are just disappearing.
Right. The city is disappearing around him. Yeah.
Or so he believes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess the prior knowledge that you would have needed before jumping into this, which again you said you did fine.
Yeah, I seem to. I mean, you know. Well, go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, like, a lot of Vertigo books, especially like the Vertigo books I read in the 90s, it seems like had a different tone than the ones I've read recently, where it was a little crazy and like off the cuff and like just very loose.
Right.
And this reminded me a lot of that. Whereas like most of the Vertigo series I read now are mini-series where it is all like pretty tight. You know,
right.
Like there's not. You know,
I would also say that comes from this being like the last Vertigo book that is like a corporate owned book.
Yeah.
Like almost everything else from Vertigo for like the past, 15 years of even, is all like creator owned stuff.
Right.
Where the writer or the artist is like, controlling what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Constantine, and Hellblazer, despite the fact that it's getting canceled,
sure.
Is, sort of one of those things where it's like, well, no matter what I do, there always has to be a reset back to the status quo.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think maybe that's kind of,
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you could just pick up a book like that and,
right.
And even though like something crazy was happening, you could just jump right in and,
right.
It had a real looseness to it, but it was like inviting at the same time.
Right.
And, this totally reminded me of more of like the Shade the Changing Man era.
Right.
Because, like I said, I hadn't read a ton of Hellblazer, but yeah, definitely felt like that.
Yeah, so there's a character that's been in the book since Milligan started his run called Epiphany Greaves, who is like this 23-year-old hot alchemist chick whose father is a gangster who has basically threatened John's life on multiple occasions.
Okay.
And at the beginning of Milligan's run, Constantine was dating a woman who broke up with him, and then he used magic to sort of get her back. And through a series of complicated events, she wound up dying.
Okay.
And then through another series of complicated events, he tried to resurrect her, which put Epiphany in sort of like a weird coma thing, which then made her dad try to kill Constantine.
Right. As well he should.
Yeah. And so pretty much right before this storyline, Constantine had gone to India to try to cleanse his soul so that he could bring back his dead girlfriend. But Epiphany had waken up and followed him to India against her dad's wishes.
Okay.
And sort of helped him out of a jam that he was going through there. And so they had just come back to London at this point, just before this.
Okay. And then, yeah, he does something pretty terrible to her.
Yeah, he does.
At the very beginning of the story.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you like John Constantine very much.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah. John is always an asshole. That's pretty much the one character thing that he has pretty much consistently going for him.
Right. That's interesting to have like the main character. I mean, I guess it's sort of like I've been watching a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm lately.
Right.
And I guess it's a lot like that where, I guess you can have a charismatic main character who is also
right.
kind of an ass.
Well, like all the TV shows that you and I have watched in the past, like Dexter, obviously is a serial killer, so there's no real redeeming qualities there, but he's a likable character and he's charming, and
right.
You want to follow his adventures, and then even Walt from Breaking Bad, and Dennis Leary's character from Rescue Me. They're all
that's true.
Just dicks,
yeah,
in the end.
right.
To varying degrees of likability.
It's like my mom keeps watching Wheel of Fortune, even though Pat Sajak
is obviously the world's biggest asshole.
Clearly a dick.
Yeah.
Just keeps going back to it
So
though.
I mean, that's the whole can of worms about can you have a continuing series about a character who is essentially unlikable,
right?
And I think it's. I don't think you need to have an entirely likable lead character and something to be enjoyable.
As long as you can be, have empathy for the character.
Exactly, yeah. Or, at least have him change and grow so that you can see the flashes of humanity or whatever.
Right, or him, because he realizes, he's, trying to not be like this. Right, yeah. So that's something.
Yeah. And that is essentially what, the past 260-some issues of Hellblazer are. It's just him knowing that he's an asshole, trying not to be an asshole, still winds up being a major asshole. And in order to try to fix things, does something a real asshole would do.
Right. But, somehow trucks right along, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes that truck runs over almost everyone in his path.
Yeah, like in this series.
Yeah.
He gets possessed with some madness, and he kind of beats the fuck out of Epiphany.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the story.
Yeah. There's a sort of romantic tension going on between the two. And prior to this, he had sort of rebuked her come-ons because he was still hung up on the dead chick.
Okay. Right.
But you can see that he's sort of torn about it at the same time.
Okay.
And he does definitely have genuine feelings for her. And then he goes ahead and just smashes the shit out of her face.
Yeah. It's pretty dark.
Yeah, it is. So he gets locked up, and then there's a short, sort of a sidestep into just basically him being abused by hospital staff.
Right, yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit of a chase scene, and there's some little action in there.
Yeah. But of course he's just continuing to just go completely batshit. And then, he tries to summon Shade the Changer Man to help him, and in order to do that, he tries to amputate his arm.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I had a friend that the only way to call him was to cut off a large chunk of my body, I might just not call that guy.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Yeah. I mean, how many times can you call? Yeah.
4 at least.
About 4, yeah. Well, probably 3.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, how are you going to cut that last one off? With your teeth?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Anyone out there tried to chew their arm off, before out the elbow? It's not fun. So Shade comes in.
Yeah. Then we also get Lenny from the Shade series.
Lenny's awesome.
Yeah. It's been years since I've read Shade the Changer Man, so a lot of it is just sort of lost and floating in my head.
I can't remember most of it. I haven't read because I read the early ones, all at once, maybe years into the series.
Right.
But I'm sure the last 40 issues I read as they came out, and that's the last time I read them. So
right.
I was a teenager when I read them last.
I was definitely a teenager when I read maybe not a teenager, but 2021 when I read the first batch. I think the series was done by that point, and I read the entire series in a span of a week or something like that. And I remember I remember Constantine being in Shade the Changing Man.
Right.
I don't remember the specifics about that.
Yeah.
Because that does get brought up in in this book. Yeah, and then I think I read him again probably around 2003, 2004.
Okay.
And that had to be the last time that I did that.
Wow, yeah, I've never revisited him, which is weird because I fucking loved it.
Yeah. There's a scene that it gets brought up that happened in the Shades series that, like, I vaguely remembered, being a part of it.
Right. With Lenny and John.
Yeah, well, with Kathy.
Kathy and John, yeah.
Kathy, of course, was the Shade's love interest in that series. Who, not really a spoiler, she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something John and Shade have in common?
Yeah, there we go.
They both have love.
I guess that is kind of a spoiler. Love. Sorry. If you haven't read Shade the Changing Man, which you should go do.
Yeah. I know there's at least 3 volumes of trades, because we've got the first 3 at Mavericks.
Right. And I think it only went 70 issues total.
I can't remember.
Yeah. Something like that. But, well worth reading.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Incredible.
Yeah, so... Anyway, what were...
we were spoiling all the major plot points.
Yeah, sorry.
Shade shows up and you get that memory back from...
Right. And that sort of just leads into sort of what happens in the rest of the storyline where Shade is, clearly more nuts than John is.
Yes. Yeah.
And, but, he has, superhuman alien powers. And
so he does help him escape.
He does help him escape, but he also causes a lot more problems than John probably intended. And
yeah, it's kind of like one of those wacky comedies where someone, like, gets a genie out of the bottle to help him, and, like, he ends up, destroying his house. And,
right, yeah.
And the wife comes home, and, hijinks ensue. It's just like that.
Just like it. The hijinks in this involves more dead people and...
Punching your girlfriend in the face.
Punching your girlfriend in the face, and, a little more, dismemberments and...
So it's darker, you're saying?
A little bit darker.
A
little darker.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? It's weird because this book really, really did make me want to go reread Shade the Changing Man, but it didn't really make me want to go read more Hellblazer.
Right.
Which, I don't know that it was supposed to, do that for me. But,
right.
But,
probably wasn't supposed to. But, but at the same time, I think I knew kind of going in that, like, the nostalgia that you... Like, I know you had more nostalgia for Shade the Changing Man than you do for Hellblazer.
Right, yeah.
So, I figured that I'm not too surprised that you would feel that way.
Yeah.
It's certainly, while I was reading it, was like, I should definitely check those books out again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but I did enjoy, like, the Hellblazer aspects to the John Constantine, because, he is an interesting character. He's, like you said, obviously, if it can sustain 267 issues of an unlikable main character,
right,
he's got to be somehow subconsciously likable.
Right.
And he is. Yeah, I don't know. I think I am going to reread some Shades, though, pretty soon.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing either. But yeah, I think this definitely suffers from the fact that, like, obviously Milligan has, like, a grand plan in store that he is in the middle of enacting.
Yeah.
And, you're just reading, like not even a fraction of what that is.
It's like, I read chapter 7 of his epic novel.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, that was pretty good.
Yeah. Because, even... Like, I don't know what the Hellblazer trade paperback situation is at this point. Like, I don't know if it does what normal series do, where they do collect, 6 issues at a time or whatever. But, I don't think, even after... Because I've read, up to, issue 278 by this point now.
Okay.
Just because I've been continuing to read them, because I'm trying to catch up. And, while this story ends, like, it doesn't end.
Right.
And it actually takes, like, almost 6 to 8 more issues to kind of even wrap up everything that happened in this one.
It kind of had that feeling, like there's more, even though it says the word end at the end.
Yeah, because, like, even the 2 issues after this still have shade in them.
Okay.
And, then there's, like, the whole story of what happens to Epiphany at the end of this. And
yeah, because she kind of, spoilers, she kind of is disappeared into the madness.
Yeah.
Which I thought, like, it took me a while to think of this, but I thought that was kind of cool because the very beginning of this story, of this 4 issues, is, it looks like John is going to lose Epiphany to the madness that he has. But at the end of the story, he still loses her to madness, but it's like the madness that he conjured, which I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. And then also, just pure Constantine, just whatever he tries to do to fix something usually just fucks it up more.
He just messed it up even more, yeah. Or it has the same result, but just with like a big mess right before.
Right, yeah. I mean, obviously I liked it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I've been reading Hellblazer, for years. This was mostly just an experiment to see how it would work with you.
Right, because like we said, like every episode we've pretty much just read a miniseries or a graphic novel or the first 6 issues of a large story, but this was I was surprised. I was like, we've never done that, just read like a storyline in the middle of a longer arcing series, but so I guess it kind of works, but at the same time, like you have a much broader perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it is a little strange, I guess.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, seemingly. Otherwise,
I did. It really did, like not only just nostalgia for Shade, but nostalgia for that 90s Vertigo.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely had that tone to it that I was like, wow, I remember reading these just crazy books where, like, it didn't really require any, like, it seems like there's a lot of scientific explanation for it, anything crazy that happens in comics now.
Yeah.
And a lot of these Vertigo books, like, just whatever happened, you're just like, yeah, sure, yeah, the madness vomited out a time stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can dig it.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like if you read anything, definitely from like Marvel or DC, it's like, anything that happens, there has to be like this in-depth explanation as to why that happened.
Yeah, how could that possibly happen in our reality? It's It's like, sometimes I read comics to escape my reality.
Exactly, yeah.
And this is just, it's like a fun, crazy...
And you know what?
Crazy comic.
I think that's fans. That's fans doing that. And that is why fans are ruining comics.
They're trying. I don't think they'll ever ruin them completely, but they're trying.
They definitely are trying to ruin comics. Because... Yeah, I mean, I know you and I are not reading this, and I'm gonna spoil the shit out of Amazing Spider-Man right now.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Because fuck it, it's being canceled anyway.
Yeah, nobody even knows who that character is. Hellblazer, Spider-Man, they're both gone.
But so maybe if you have a slight interest in Spider-Man, spoilers.
Yeah.
But Dr. Octopus has taken over Peter Parker's body. And Dr. Octopus's body, which now has Peter Parker's consciousness, is dying. So that's what's happening. And I'm pretty sure that there was like this whole entire explanation as to how it happened, with like pages of like details about the mechanics behind it, and who gives a shit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, first of all, it seems like a terrible story.
Yeah.
And then second of all, even if it wasn't, we don't need to know.
Right.
I don't need a neuron lesson or whatever. Yeah.
And also, if unless this is the first comic that you have ever bought, then why get so upset? Because everyone else who has read comics knows that at some point
this will come back around.
Yeah.
It never happened.
Yeah.
Brand new day, go away.
Exactly. Yeah. So, whatever. But, I think we even talked about it a little bit with the Chronicle last week. Was that, you don't need explanations.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I guess sometimes, like, it helps ground a story, but at the same time, if it's just supposed to be something fun and,
Right.
Not that this Hellblazer story is super fun it's pretty dark in places,
right. But at the same time, it is escapism.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just not for children.
Right.
But, it's
like, I'd be just as happy if Peter Parker and Doc Ock were on a bus and they were both holding those rails and it got struck by lightning. Yeah. And that's how it changed.
Right, yeah.
I'd be fine with that. That would be fun.
Yeah. It'd probably be a hell of a lot more fun than what the storyline currently is.
Right. And that would only take 2 pages and the rest is gravy.
Yep. But yeah, like you said, about the grounding, though, I think what grounds the story is believable characters. Like well-rounded characters.
Yeah.
You don't need...
The situation doesn't have to be
exactly
real.
Yeah. As long as the characters are reacting
right.
as they probably should,
Like Ziggy in space.
Exactly.
Like, you put him out there on Mars and he's like terraforming and he meets and has sex with all these weird animals.
Yeah.
But it's your Ziggy and you know Ziggy. You've grown up with Ziggy, so you believe it. You accept it. You buy it.
As long as Ziggy is acting the way Ziggy would act.
As long as he holds up those weird signs every once in a while.
Yep.
Yeah. Mars needs women or something.
Yeah. Or goes to, the Martian complaint department.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
I would love a whole series of Ziggy Martian complaint department cartoons.
He is the character that did that, right?
I believe so.
Okay,
yeah.
All right, yeah.
I got it. For a second, I was confused with Lucy from Peanuts. The doctor's in, but no, that is different.
Yeah.
So we've been reading Ziggy, Constantine Hellblazer. Should we talk about the artist, Mr. Kemenkali or something? I don't know.
Giuseppe... What is... Kemenkali.
Kemenkali? Kemenkali? I don't know.
Yeah. Just Giuseppe.
Yeah, Giuseppe. Yeah. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, he's good. He is... I think that guy's a workhorse.
Oh, yeah?
In addition because I think he's been on Hellblazer for a long time now.
Okay.
Even before Milligan. Even when he wasn't the regular artist, he was always like a fill-in.
Okay.
But at the same time, I think he does stuff for Marvel as well.
Really?
I think he drew a 10-page story in the issue 700 of Spider-Man.
Okay.
So the guy definitely must be chained to his table or something, or just can crank it out super fast, and he's good too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's his very expressive faces on those characters. I really like that.
It's sort of a little bit there's an artist, I don't know if you're familiar with him or not, but Jim Caliafor.
Don't know
that. He drew a bunch of Secret Six, towards the end of it.
Okay.
I hate that guy. I think that guy is terrible.
Okay.
But I think Giuseppe reminds me a lot of his work, but way better. Like
the yang to the yin there?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. They have a similar way of drawing, but just one of them does it so much better.
Okay. Huh.
And he also has a little bit, I think, of an Edward Rizzo type feel to his work.
Yeah, definitely. But it at the same time, it definitely reminds me of. Maybe it's just the story and my nostalgia, but for the characters, but it reminds me of kind of a retro style of the 90s, at least Vertigo, not
right,
not superhero 90s at all.
I could see Morrison's Doom Patrol.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Richard Case and those guys. Yeah. Yeah, he's got a cool style. I like him.
Yeah. Like he's definitely not the best artist I've seen on Hellblazer, but I mean, his art doesn't offend me or by any means, and it's quite good.
And there's a Stefano Landini that finished the art, I guess.
It probably stinks.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I know that Chemicali has like he's the main artist on this book, but then like every couple of issues, Simon Bisley does like a fill-in or two.
That's awesome.
In fact, actually, the story, like the 2 issues immediately following the story are drawn by both of them. Like Simon Bisley drew like page 1 through 11, and then Chemicali drew 12 through 22.
Oh, weird. See, I hate it when unless that's part of the story.
It is part of the story.
Okay,
because it takes place in 2 different time periods.
Okay, so it's so jarring to me. Like,
no, yeah, it's not like
Jenny Finn when we read that.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not like it's like John Constantine steps out to have a cigarette, and then the next page is like
right,
the follow up to that, but it's drawn in a completely different style.
Yeah, it was Art Adams, now it's Richard Corbin.
Right? Yeah. Might not be too bad.
Yeah, I'd read that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not like that. Like there's a clear delineation between the 2.
Okay.
So it works out really well.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, Bisley's covers are awesome on these 2.
Yeah.
He's such a great. I don't know. He's good. Yeah, he's amazing.
And I know, because I think I mentioned it last episode. I had once brought up the fact that we might be doing this. You kind of requested
some Bisley.
But sorry I couldn't do that for
you. No, it's all right.
But he definitely has taken on a different style whenever he does this book, at least. Because I mean, maybe I'm just stuck in the 90s, but whenever I think of Bisley, I always think of Lobo and
those Doom Patrol covers.
Doom Patrol, and then
Melting Pot.
Judge Dredd and Melting Pot. Yeah, just that sort of overtly rendered, splashy. Yeah. Well, not splashy, but splattery kind of.
Right.
Dirty, and it's still got everything about it. Is still Bisley.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell it's him.
But it's also a lot more refined and even subtle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the cover to the 267, and it's like all that crazy, outlandish, splattery stuff was all just reeled in or encased inside of the outline of the characters or something. Yeah, it's it looks way different. I know, on something he did that Tower Chronicles book, and I know he didn't ink that, he just drew it. But I think he was inking himself on Hellblazer, right?
I don't think he has inks on Hellblazer.
Oh, really?
I think it's
just digital coloring,
straight from pencil here.
But yeah, he's definitely tweaked his style over the years. But, and I honestly do prefer his old style. I really do. Yeah. But I don't think it's because he's gotten worse. It's just because, like you said, we have
nostalgia.
We have a huge nostalgia for that era, because that's for me. I mean, that's whenever I was discovering all these different kinds of comics.
Same here.
It's it wasn't all Batman and Wolverine anymore. Right. So, yeah, he blew my mind when I was a teenager. So.
Yeah, same here. All right. Well, I think we beat this horse dead.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we usually do.
Let's take a short break and come back.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Cheated on part of the thrill. Pocket was not fulfilled.
Hey, welcome back to Gutter Trash.
Hello. What up? What up, indeed?
Not too much.
All right, then.
Yeah. Oh, I watched some movies.
Oh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because I went to the library,
Uh-huh.
and I got myself a small stack of movies.
Yeah?
Like I said, I've been watching a lot of Curb Your Enthusiasm. They had the 8th season, which I hadn't seen, which was pretty funny. I won't go into that, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you either like that show or you don't. I mean,
Right.
I think that's the only way that one's go.
I've still never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you would like it or not, honestly.
I don't know.
Yeah, you may, but I don't know. But also got some movies, including two movies that I really wanted to see for a long time, and I watched them both, and one of them I was kind of disappointed with, and one of them blew my mind at how awesome it was.
All right.
The two movies were Super 8 and Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
Okay.
I'm sure you can guess.
Let's see. One you were disappointed in, one blew your mind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess you were disappointed in Super 8.
No.
Okay.
That was probably the best movie I've seen in years.
Good.
That is the correct answer?
Yes. Because I liked Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but I don't think that's the greatest thing ever.
No.
Yeah, it was a fine movie.
I don't even think I would say I thought it was good.
Okay.
Like I thought it looked amazing from start to finish, and I mean, and you know, obviously it was a showcase for all these really good actors to do their thing, but and maybe it's because I'm dumb, but I really felt lost. Like I was like, who's this guy? Who are they talking about?
Right.
And bored. Bored was another thing I felt.
It was slow. It was definitely slow.
I like slow.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you that there were times where it was completely unclear what was happening or who the characters were, or you know, just stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus, I can't think of a single character in that movie that I would say I like that character. Like maybe John Hurt, like the captain or the general or the
I think
Control. I think they call him Control.
Yeah, I think George Smiley was a pretty good character.
I mean, you know, he wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of good characters, but I don't know that I even would say I liked George Smiley as a character.
I think I liked him.
Really?
And that just made me, you know, Gary Oldman rubbing off on that character.
Right.
More than anything else.
I love Gary Oldman, but
Right.
I mean, as far as the story goes, I was like, I just didn't find anybody like, oh, I'm rooting for this guy. Like,
I think the Gary Oldman character, Benedict Cumberbatch's character, and Mark Strong's character, I think, are the three that come off the best.
yeah.
And I think that if there is anyone to root for, it has to be Mark Strong's character.
Which one's Mark Strong? I don't
He
know.
was the guy who he was the teacher who was living in like his.
Oh
his
yeah.
van.
Yeah. If I would root for anybody in the movie, it would be him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe I was just like, oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Right.
You know, when I sat down to watch it, because I'd heard so much good about it, and I think it was built up too much, but I don't think it was just that. I think I found it kind of boring.
Yeah. Well, I think if anyone out there, like I'm sure, probably your girlfriend was.
She loves that movie.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not entirely right about that movie.
I mean, it's her opinion.
It's her opinion,
and like she loves that kind of stuff.
right?
And yeah, I don't know. I
remember seeing it with Joe and Jenny at the theater, and I think we all liked it. But I think it was definitely. I don't think any of us were like super wowed with it or anything like that.
I kind of want to watch it a second time though, just because I wonder if maybe I did miss something when I watched it, and that kept me from enjoying it as much. Because like I said, I mean, like I thought the acting was great, and I thought for a movie of like 7 old guys talking to each other for 2.5 hours, they made that look really cool.
Right.
So I mean, it looks awesome, but yeah, I don't know. I would go so far as to say I was severely disappointed.
All right.
But then, like I said, Super 8, best movie I've seen in years, I do believe.
I 100% agree with you. Like, I mean, just to touch on, Tinker Tailor again. It was a movie that I think I found that I liked, but I did not find enjoyable.
Okay.
It's like, while probably I would benefit from a second viewing of it, it's nothing that I think I ever want to watch another viewing.
Because even when I said that a minute ago, I was like, when would I ever do that though?
Right,
When there's so many other movies that I'm excited to watch.
Right.
And like that is just like, oh, okay, I'll try to get through that again.
But man, Super 8 is fucking amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible movie.
Yeah. No. Okay. I cried like a little baby bitch while watching that movie.
Aww. Like all through it? Or...
Like a lot. Like more than I probably should have.
I don't think I did, but I mean, that's not like a judgment, because I cried when I watched, Cornbread Earl and I, Cornbread, no! He's supposed to play basketball! Oh my god! Little Lawrence Fishburne saw it. Now he's gonna grow up and be a janitor in a mental hospital. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. But yeah, wow, awesome, right?
Yeah. Just like, I know that part of it is that it's a movie about making movies, like a very small part of it, but still, and that's not a thing that I'm into. Okay,
like that whole meta. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, but I think it really worked in this. And I think it was also a small enough part of it that, it just made it that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, it made the characters more endearing. They're trying to do this thing. Yeah, like the actual movie, The Case that they showed.
Oh, that's great.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
Brassfield, watch The Case. That's all I gotta say. I always
bet Brassfield hated this movie.
Super 8?
Yeah, I bet.
No.
I bet he hated this movie. I absolutely think so.
I've never asked him about this.
I never have either.
Our friend Matt.
And I don't want to now, because now I'm just angry.
Our friend Matt Brassfield makes local small budget horror movies.
Yeah.
And the kids in this movie do the same thing. And I always thought this was like a great idea. And like I've mentioned this to him at least once or twice. I'm like, if you're making small budget movies, it seems like I would, like, if I was writing one, I would write a script based around all the locations that I had access to.
Yeah.
I mean, you would just look around town.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Right. And
right for your budget.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff.
Also, right.
Oh, excuse me, my cough came back. But I mean, he's got some cool locations. Like, I loved whenever he used his access to right state after hours, and he like filmed stuff and like the killer walking around through the or chasing someone through the empty cafeteria at night.
Right.
It looked amazing because you never see a cafeteria at night at a college.
Right.
And like that's the kind of stuff I'm like, yeah, use whatever. I mean, like even if it wasn't part of your script whenever you were writing the script, and you see this crazy thing, like when they see the train wreck.
Yeah.
It's in the script now. Yeah. Like write that shit in.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Like I wrote, a couple of movies a couple of years ago, and one of them actually ever got made. And I wrote the script, and some of it was just sort of, I don't know what the locations we can get are.
Right.
So I just sort of wrote it. And then, when, we were able to figure out what locations we could get, it was just like, okay, let's rearrange this or that, and we managed to get some pretty cool places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then, super happy that all worked out. But, it's like, had we not been able to do that, then clearly I would have, said, okay, well, we can't get this, awesome fucking basement garage thing that we got. Then we'll just go to, my friend's basement and rework it a little bit.
Yeah, and like I enjoy Brassfield's movies, and like he's found some cool locations, but I think that would be one thing that, like an outside perspective, I would say, like constructive criticism is right scenes around like other locations around town, because there's some cool stuff in Dayton.
Yeah.
Like there's some. Like, I would write a scene involving Mendelssohn's somehow.
Right.
I mean, and like, even if you're not allowed to film in Mendelssohn's, who the hell is going to see you filming in Mendelssohn's?
Exactly.
That place is like a mile long.
Right.
There's no way that they would even know that you're filming a scene back there. So, yeah, I don't know.
And even like, it wasn't integral to the plot or anything, but we were just looking to get like, B-roll for like, extra footage or, just shots outside or whatever.
Yeah.
And there used to be that cool fucking factory behind Sinclair.
Oh, on Perry Street,
Yeah. And, I was like, oh man, we gotta at least get that place,
Right.
And so like we filmed like, driving down the highway and a couple times, just to get it on. And then, like, a month later, that place was gone.
Yeah, they tore it down.
So it was like,
I've actually been inside of that factory.
Oh, wow.
More than one time. Once while drunk.
Nice.
Yeah. That place is amazing. We always used to call it Axis Chemical Plant, because it looks like the Tim Burton setting. But anyway. Yeah, Super 8.
Super 8, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Takes place, the setting, anyway, is supposed to be just outside of Dayton.
Yeah. They mentioned Dayton in the film.
Yeah.
That and Roadhouse are the only two movies I remember ever mentioning Dayton. This one is slightly better than Roadhouse.
Excuse me. Yeah, wow. I had forgotten that you had not seen that movie.
Yeah, and I remember you saying like it was I've done a disservice to myself by not seeing it in the theater, and I can totally see that, because it has a lot of big like action, but even on my TV, which isn't like a giant TV by any means, but even that, like, it blew me away, just like seeing all the visuals. I mean,
right.
It was great. Yeah,
awesome. I'm glad you liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I should rewatch that at some point.
Yeah, I'd rewatch it. Heck, pick it right now.
All right.
Let's watch it again.
I know that, like, I saw it and I bought it, and I let my mom borrow it, and like, I guess my dad, like she was gonna watch it with my dad, and my dad was like, I don't want to see that, and just sort of grumbled, and so my mom was like, all right, well, fuck you, and she went in the other room and watched it, and so then, like, she returned it to me, and then, like, I guess, like, a day later, like, one of their friends was talking about it, and was like, oh, you should totally watch that, it's so good, and I was like, well, I already returned it, and I guess my dad didn't want to see it because he thought it was going to be a found footage movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like Chronicle. And
yeah. And and my mom was like, no, it's not that at all. And he's like, oh, well.
So he still hasn't seen it?
Still hasn't seen
Ah.
it. I'm sure it'll be on TV like some Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
I'll watch it.
It seems like, I mean, it's so 80s too.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's set in the 80s and all the music's
Yeah.
80s, but I mean, not just that. I mean, it looks like, you know, all the cool action all the 80s movies, like all the Spielberg movies.
It's definitely an homage to like, you know, the Spielberg type movies, E.T. and Goonies.
Yeah, Goonies,
Even a little bit of like the Explorers, or just like some of like those adventure kids movies.
Yeah, where the kids are the main characters. Yeah,
and they're not just annoying kids.
Yeah, they're not at all. Yeah, not at all. I mean, occasionally.
Oh, sure,
but But yeah, wow. Yeah, I was really into that. That was awesome.
Kids movies where the kids swear.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the defining part. Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Sure. I've been sick.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been recovering from that. I did watch Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz 2 days in a row.
Got your Simon Pegg on.
Yeah.
Nick Frost.
I wanted to. Well, I saw like they released like the first official image from the new Edgar Wright movie with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost called At the World's End.
Okay.
Or The World's End or something like that. And it's supposed to be the third part of the unofficial trilogy that they've been making with Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
So it just got me really excited to watch those two again.
Is that coming out next year?
I think so, yeah.
Sweet.
Read a bunch of comics. Yeah, I got my shipment in on Thursday. So it was had an early Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. Except I paid for everything with my own money like 2 months ago. So I read some stuff. I read like 3 issues in a row of all new X-Men.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's like it's like weekly or bi-weekly or something.
Bi-weekly, I think. Yeah. Read 2 issues of Hawkeye or Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Yeah. Still a great comic.
Are those standalone issues?
For the most part.
Really?
There's been 1 2-part storyline.
I was gonna say, because I've only ever read. I just opened a random one up and read like 4 pages of it, and I happened to get to the end of the book. I didn't realize I was getting to the end of the book, and it was obviously continued into the next issue.
Yeah.
But I mean, it could have been an ending too. It wasn't like a cliffhanger,
right?
But it felt like there's more to the story. And then someone was in Mavericks and he was talking about how he liked it because it was all single issue stories, and that confused me.
Yeah. I think issues 1 through 3 are single issue stories. 4 and 5 was a 2-parter.
That's the one I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 6 and on are
where someone takes
issues.
a mask off and reveals.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's the one I saw. All right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. They're very good. I would really recommend you reading them.
I kind of, after I read that few pages, I was like, this looks pretty cool.
Yeah. And the art's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jack told me to cut the order on that one. He did yesterday. He was going through, like, telling me which books to cut. He's like, Hawkeye, I mean, that never does well. And Dial H for Hero and Buffy. And like, everyone that he named is like something that we consistently sell out of.
Right, yeah.
And I was just like, okay, yeah, sure.
Was it the balloon art?
He didn't mention balloon. He's only ever mentioned that one time. Cliff Chang's balloon art. Now that would be a great title for an art book by Cliff Chang.
Yeah.
Cliff Chang's balloon art. I mean,
but only if he makes balloon art.
Yeah, like if he constructs animals like out of balloons. Or he could do like Wonder Woman's.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That idea is free, Cliff Chang. You can take that, and we do not even need any royalties.
Nope.
We just want to see the finished product.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe a review copy.
Oh, yeah, a review copy would be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe a thank you.
Yeah, it'd be nice too. Yeah. But no financial.
At the most, a meal.
Yeah. If the 3 of us are ever at the same comic convention, you owe us a meal.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get the tip.
Right, yeah. And it doesn't have to be, anything fancy or pricey.
No.
Subway's good.
Subway is good. Yeah, I like Subway.
Eat fresh.
Mm-hmm. Although the one down the road from
is not fresh.
Mavericks.
So.
They got rid of the veggie burger, which was like the thing I ate there. What? They switched managers, and he doesn't not approve of the veggie burger.
That sounds like the manager of a comic shop that I go to.
And this one sells, like, the burgers were, like, even when I would go there.
They would always sell out.
They would always sell out, and I would go, and they're like, oh, we sold out again. And now I go, and they're like, oh, we don't care anymore. I'm like, well, then, you don't support me. I don't support you. What am I going to do? Eat a piece of bread with 20 pickles on it and some hot sauce? It's not a meal. That's the only thing I could really eat there. Oh, well.
I think it's time for you to start eating meat again.
It's clearly the choice has been made for me.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Doogie right now is in Georgia, and he's bringing back some of his grandpa's deer meat.
All right.
So maybe I'll start there.
There you go.
What better way?
Yeah. Work your way up to the good ones.
to the Subway sausage.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm sure that won't mess with my stomach at all.
Yeah. All right. I guess I should pick a movie, and we can.
I thought we decided Super 8.
Oh.
No.
Well, maybe the movie that I'm picking has a similar subtext to it.
Oh.
Maybe similar themes. This movie that I'm picking. Now bear in mind that I hope I can get this movie in. If not, then maybe we will just watch Super 8 because I don't know if I can actually get this movie in by the next time we do a show.
Oh, okay.
But fingers crossed. I am picking a movie that I've been wanting to see for a while, and decided that let's go ahead and do that. It is called Son of Rambo.
Son of Rambo.
Yes.
Now, this isn't the Rambo movie just called John Rambo that came out like two years ago.
Nope.
Okay. I've never heard of this.
It is a British comedy about a little kid who decides to make his own Rambo movie.
I have heard of this. Okay. I have heard of this. In fact, I think I saw either a trailer or a still image.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's do this.
All right.
If we can find it.
Yeah.
If not, Super 8?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Everybody already knows what we think of Super 8.
That's true. Yeah.
That might be a bad idea.
If I can't get a hold of Son of Rambo, then we will. I will post some sort of alternate thing later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
All right then.
Well, it's been fun.
It has been fun. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Gutter Trash. You can subscribe to the show from guttertrash.net or from iTunes and leave us a review. Visit guttertrash.net for email information, links to our Facebook and Twitter pages, and for other podcasts and websites in the Gutter Trash Network. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.